My name is Amber Cartwright, and the first time I graduated from Bank Street was 2009. I graduated from the Early Childhood Leadership Program, and then I returned to Bank Street to receive my school district leader certification. I lead an office of childcare and early childhood education for the mayor's office. I work for Deputy Mayor Anna Almazar. I think the Office of Childcare and Early Childhood Education is well positioned to help inform this mayor and future mayors on what true equity in early childhood could look like, making sure that every parent who wants a child care seat for their child can get one, that they're informed about the different types of models. They know how to go about securing or enrolling, and ideally that the service model that many New York families need, which is generally between 8 and 10 hours, is available. And there are a lot of things that I'd like to do for this office. It's fairly new, but I think it's well positioned to inform elected officials what a child care centered friendly city could look like. There needs to be kind of a fulcrum between providers that offer services and families who need services know how to navigate the city and all of its various city agencies to get those services. When I started my career several decades ago, I started off in family childcare. I was in college, and a friend of mine had opened up a center. I really helped her kind of like launch that program, get permitted, and all of the things you need to do to receive CACFP vouchers. From there, I've spent quite a bit of time in classrooms, in early childhood settings, primarily community-based organization, early childhood settings. I joined the Harlem Children's Zone roughly in 2000. That was my first entree into administration. I started off at Baby College, which was a parent and child program that I enjoyed quite a bit. And then an opportunity came to launch their first Head Start program. And so that was the first time as an educational leader, I kind of stepped into thinking about building a program with parents and children in mind. And being a former Head Start child myself, it was full circle. There's something quite phenomenal in being a teacher or a caregiver for very young children. I come from a long line of educators. My mother was a teacher. She taught for several decades. My grandmother started her career as a family worker in a Head Start program. I think in many ways it was kind of in the ether coming up as a kid. I wish that we as a city and as a state and as a nation prioritized in monetary value the contributions that childcare providers and early childhood educators make, but we don't as of yet. Now, what gets me up in the morning is being a voice for those who don't necessarily have access to the mayor, to a deputy mayor, to a deputy chancellor, to whom a commissioner. The significance of early childhood in who we want to be as a city and how we'll get there. Ann Horowitz, who was my advisor the first time I was at Bank Street, used to say to me, Amber, trust the process. To engage adults who care about children, whether they be other leaders or teachers, in their own self-discovery. I try to bring that in every space that I go, because I believe that if I can create a space of curiosity, of genuine interest in other people's perspective, then I will receive that, or at the very least create that space for myself, which as a Black woman is particularly important for me to advocate for in all spaces. In the classroom, I'm listening to the children's perspectives. I'm learning where they are, feeling confident to embrace a new idea, concept, or experience. When I was a program director, trying to facilitate that for the teachers, learning about who they are and what they're bringing, and in return sharing that, which makes, I think, for a richer, more dynamic environment in my spaces now, asking the staff who was doing the work before I came, what do you think of this? How can we evolve it? Where does the vision live within the work? And so I learned a lot of that at Bank Street, coming into the space really curious. So it becomes less about ego and more about community.